has cried out over the misinformation of the Nigerian Boko Haram combat at the Sambisa forest. The question here is the media spreading the news of insecurity in Nigeria appropriately? Is the information on the Nigerian Boko Haram combat injecting fear into the society? On today's episode of Burning Issues, we'll be discussing media coverage on security crisis in Nigeria. And to discuss with me are two guests whom you get to meet after the break. I am Pleasure Iweji. Keep watching. Welcome back. It's the Burning Issues on Captain Television, and we are about to discuss the media coverage on security crisis in Nigeria. And to do justice to this topic with me are Oludaisi Adetarami, the publisher of Sunshine Standard Magazine, Akure. You're welcome, sir.
It is my pleasure to be on Captain Television.
It's nice having you in the house.
You're
and also have someone in the person of Adeyemi Ogungbemi, a social media commentator and writer. You're welcome to the house today.
Thank you very much. Good to be on this show again.
Okay. What is your opinion on the media role when it comes to reporting security crisis in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. The importance of the media in reportage of insecurity can never be overemphasized. And the media is a tool of information to the public. But I want to say that there is a pros and cons. There are do's and don'ts of media reportage.
Okay.
So due to some reasons, the media might say the real thing and say the other side of it. Now let me put it this way.
Okay.
On the part of the government, I think the government are very sincere and very honest. When you go to Senate climes, international communities, whenever there is war, they let the people know what is what.
So you're trying to see that the government is not being honest with the actual facts?
The government is not honest with the actual facts. So if the government is very sincere, let us know the real, what is happening. Definitely, media will not have the effrontery to report in such a way that it will also hype the tension of the masses.
Okay, let me get a balanced view on this.
Thank you.
Now, sir, what do you understand by the media role when it comes to reporting issues of security crisis in Nigeria?
Well, let me start by operationalizing the fact that the media, as it were, is guided by what we call the ethics of the profession.
Okay.
These ethics differ from country to country, but the baseline in this media stuff that I'm talking about is variables like truthfulness, variables like honesty, variables like balancing your report properly. So when you combine all these variables together, you will find out that they are more or less the same all over the world. And to me, the Nigerian media has been up and doing. The Nigerian media is the freest in Africa, so to say, notwithstanding the fact that previous regimes, especially under the military, have intimidated the Nigerian media. But Nigerian media is still doing its bit, as far as I'm concerned. And in this era of security challenges in Nigeria, occasioned mainly by Boko Haram, you find out that the Nigerian media too, they're still doing their bit.
Okay, now, like Ogungbemi said earlier that the Nigerian government is not being factual with the scenario of things happening, especially in the Sambisa forest, the combat between Nigeria and Boko Haram. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I will align my thoughts with him on that, in the sense that if you cast your mind back to when the Chibok girls were abducted, then immediately they were abducted, the army spokesman came out and told Nigerians that 70% of these girls had been recovered.
Okay.
But few days later, you find out that there wasn't any truth in that. So to that extent, I would want to believe that for them now to push the buck to the table of the media that they are the one misinforming, you will want to ask that, what from the angle of the government and authorities, are they not misinforming? And this is the reason why there must be concrete synergy between the army, between security forces, and between the media, especially on the reportage of security crisis occasioned by Boko Haram and all other security challenges as well.
All right, let me ask Ogunbemi this question. Now, as a writer, can you say for sure Nigerian journalists are working with the ethics of journalism?
Thank you very much. I almost interjected at when he said the Nigerian media are the freest in Africa. Please, the word fairest in what context? They are not being fair. The media have become a willing tool in the hand of politicians. I can say emphatically that at this moment, various political parties, they are control. This present administration of APC, when they were an opposition party, in fact, they have virtually 60 or 70% of the media outfit in this country.
So you're trying to say in essence that the media in Nigeria is no longer independent? The
independence of the media is questionable. Now, the issue of Boko Haram that my boss just mentioned of, to me, Chibok girls' issue is a ruse. The reality is not real. Don't forget, the opposition party, they were doing everything possible to dent the image of the then government.
Okay, let's get a balanced view on this now. Oludaisi, do you believe that the Nigerian media is not independent, just like Ogunbemi said?
Well, what I just said is relative. It's relative in the sense that you will have something to compare another thing with. When you are talking about free media, your reference point will always be going to Western media. Your reference point will always be going to how should this profession be practiced. If you look at the history of Nigerian media, right from the era of people when Chief Enahoro, Baba Obafemi Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe have been practicing it up to the present time, right through the time of colonial government, right through the time of our independence.
Decolonialism.
Yes. And even during the military, you will realize that Nigerian media has been very, very vibrant. Although, as I said,
talking about the Nigerian media, it's been said that the media is the voice of the people, serves as the watchdog. Now, can you still reveal that the Nigerian media have been serving as the watchdog and the voice of the people?
Yeah, from that point, let me just say this. Everything you do depends on the resources available to you. So if you are rating the Nigerian media, you'll be rating the Nigerian media with the resources available on ground. You'll be rating the Nigerian media with existential realities on ground, the environment in which they operate. It is from this area that you will be able to actually look at the ratio of what they are doing, the content of what they are practicing, and the results that we are getting from them. No doubt there are challenges. No doubt, people have said that the fourth estate of the realm have become the fourth realm of the estate. They know that challenges are there, just like we have challenges in different societies all over the world. But overall, and basically, I would still want to give a pass back to Nigerian media.
Yeah, I believe, please, I will still disconcord. Take, for instance, AIT. AIT is anti-APC.
I think we are diverting, like we are deviating a bit, because the focus of this discourse today is on insecurity matters. We're not talking about political parties. We're trying to know
the reason why politics is being brought in is that take for instance the Fulani herdsmen that is ongoing. That is hyped more by a certain political party. During Chibok girls' abduction, it was hyped by one political party. I think I don't need to mention them. And all these political parties, they use the media as a willing tool. If not for the emergence of the new media, globalization and digitalization, most of these things that the voice of the masses at the present moment now, I can say, is basically what we read on the internet. I mean,
now you're talking about the new media spurred by globalization. We've seen so many videos online whereby we get to see this Boko Haram set beheading most of the Nigerian soldiers. Like, can't you say for real that this have injected fear into the society?
Of course, that is why the ethics. You know, as a person now, I'm a media consultant. My boss here is also CEO of a newspaper. When we want to bring news, we should check. I remember I was an editor-in-chief in a very school. An SS3 student had a kind of knowledge of a GSS1 student. And everybody was saying, no, editor, you must bring this news out. But I said, no. one, it will spoil the image of the school.
Okay.
The student in question, that might affect his a future. I give them some certain reasons. So the ethics of journalism at times, when you look at these the developed countries, things that will bring down the name of their countries, there are ways they do it. And that's why I give it to the APC, the present government. It is whatever they want to be in the open, that will be in the open. Then, concerning the issue of fear.
When you get to check the international news, the news you get to say about Nigerians are usually the negative on the negative side. And my question is this: why is this so? Because you're trying to praise the current government for being able to curb most of this news.
It's not curbing, no, it's gagging. No, it's not curbing.
Because they're trying to say in essence that they only dish out the news they want the people to hear.
What I mean in the overview, that means they know the way they can key all those things and it won't come to the open. Then the issue of instilling fear, I want to say that most of those videos we watch, most of them, they are not peculiar to happenings in Nigeria. Some in Somali, in neighboring countries where those things are very rife.
A terrorist attribute.
Terrorists ahead. So, but they want to inject it, bring it to our own area here because they know that Nigerians, we are known for fear, known for some things. So those things that are happening, are you a Christian, are you a Muslim? Most of them are not peculiar to what is happening in our country. Okay. I'm a Christian, but we have, this is what they normally sold to us as the politicians, I mean. They sell it to us. They know that anything goes for any average Nigerian. But personally, I don't believe in all those things.
Okay, let me ask Oludaisi this question. Now, we all know that the Boko Haram issue we've been talking about was all forged. That was in 2002. And since then, Nigeria has been having issues trying to combat this terrorist group. And my question is this. What role have the media played so far in disseminating this news, not just to Nigerians, but to the world at large?
We keep on saying that the Nigerian media have done so much, given the resources available to them. You will realize now that the sing song from the authority, especially from the military, is that the media is not doing enough in the fight against Boko Haram. Yes. That the media is even truncating their effort in fighting Boko Haram. But I will want to say that the Nigerian media, they are doing their bit. They are doing their bit.
Are you trying to say they are doing their bit by saying today Nigeria is winning the Boko Haram and tomorrow the Boko Haram, they are reinforcing or they are becoming stronger, waxing stronger than they were before?
No, the question now is that what are they reporting? You have to report what you see. What I'm saying that you did not want to maybe get what I'm saying is that the authorities are saying that the Nigerian media is sabotaging the effort of the military in winning the war against Boko Haram.
And the question is this, is the Nigerian media sabotaging their efforts?
The Nigerian media is not sabotaging their effort. Nigerian media is just reporting what they see. They are just reporting what they see. Because there's this thing that we call timeliness. A reporter, when you see anything that you feel is newsworthy, you have to report it. They are not saying that they are constantly by themselves. They are saying that the Nigerian media is over-sensationalizing what was on ground. That perhaps they are over-reporting. And in that instance, that the Boko Haram people will now feel that they are winning the war. But you cannot take the role of the media away from the media.
Of course,
they have to do their bit. They have to do their role. They have to do what the ethics demands of them.
At this point, we'll have to go on a short break. And when we get back, we'll get to hear more from you. When we're going on the short break, keep watching. Welcome back. It's the burning issues on Kaftan Television, and in case you're just joining us, we've been discussing the media coverage on security crisis in Nigeria. Before we went on the break, you were trying to defend the Nigerian media, that the Nigerian media have been airing what they get to see because news is timely.
Exactly. And again, we need to talk about adequacy of coverage. Whatever you are covering must be adequate. You have to be total in reporting what you see. It's not just party reporting. And when you see an incident that is happening and you report it, then maybe part of the authority is not happy about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Again, the Nigerian media, just like the media the world over, they have this function that we call the surveillance function.
Very true.
Yeah, the surveillance function is such that you look at what could likely happen with your knowledge of journalism and you bring it out. At that point in time, by the time you are now bringing it out, the authority and the military too will be saying that you are revealing their tactics to the enemy.
Okay, let's get Ogunbebi's view on this. Do you agree with him that the Nigerian army, they are trying to conceal the real scenario in Sambisa Forest?
The answer to that question is a yes and no answer. And in this form, in the art of war, in intelligence gathering, in security, at times the military officers, they are right in some ways. When you look at wars that are being fought, they are right. If the media cannot shun out every this thing that they see, either on the battlefield or they didn't. But I want to align with him at one angle that the Nigerian government are very insincere. They are very dishonest. There are some issues, things that we should be in the know. If you are not really winning this war, if your hands are tied, you have the problem of winning this war, let us know. But don't
you think it still boils down to nationalism? Because the Nigerian government is trying to keep the society sane. Because by the time you keep on dishing out this event to the society, to the masses, you're going to create an imbalanced society whereby the people will be filled with panic.
That's what I'm saying is that in other countries, we have some countries that their case is worse than us. But yet, you hardly hear things like that. That boils down to nationalism. But nonetheless, that does not mean we should now gag the media in the entirety. But what I'm still saying is that the media that we have in the country now, that's why I was mentioning some newspaper at the right time, that they are doing the biddings either of one power broker, political office holder, or one political party. I think they are very independent, separate. So whatever they now report, I made mention of Sowore the other time.
Of course you did.
Most youth populace now, they are against him that, maybe you were the one that was saying. So if a media should be independent, if they are really independent in their reporting in everything they do, definitely we will not believe them. So personally, I want to say that irrespective of, because my guy is a very scholarly in that field, no matter how adequate the information they gather, anything they gather, everything should not be shunned out to the public. One, to eradicate possible fear. Then secondly, the people that are in that area, take for instance the northeastern part, the fear will be in them.
Now, you're talking about the media and the government not churning out all the news and information happening within the locality. Don't you think it's bridging the people's right? Because everybody should know what happens within their locality. It's a right.
Thank you very much. It is a right. Even in the global scene, not all rights are not right. All right are not right. So if I want to say, the thing is, I think there is a kind of balancing between the government and the media. Take, for instance, now on the battlefield in international communities, even if the war is very rife, very serious, you will still have a reporter that will be there, that will be covering. But in Nigeria setting, that thing is it's not that pronounced, whereby they will report for the military. And again, most of the investigative journalism is going down the drain. We only have few journalists that can really go deep.
Okay, let me get Oludai's view on this now. Do you believe that investigative journalism is going down the drain in Nigeria?
Well, let me briefly align myself with him a bit. Everything is going down in Nigeria, and journalism too will definitely be a reflection of the general picture of how the country is going. But that does not invalidate the fact that the media, they are not doing their bit and what is expected of them. Mind you, the media is the watchdog of the society. The media has a role. Media has obligation towards, the evolution of the society and towards its development. And to that extent, I want to believe that the Nigerian media, as I said earlier on, given the resources available, given the space, operational space available, they are doing their bit. They are doing their job.
Is an unbiased reportage? Is it not part of the quality or attribute of
yes,
media? Unbiased reportage.
Unbiased reportage is part of good journalism.
Okay.
Unbiased reportage. But as human beings, there's no way you will not find one error or the other that you can point to that this one does not portray unbiased reportage. But that does not mean that is the general picture or perception of what is going on generally as far as news dissemination.
Now, still talking about investigative journalism, that what are the major factors that are making investigative journalism become a thing of the past in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for that question. Journalism itself supposed to rest on the tenet of investigation.
Wow. Rigorous investigation.
Rigorous investigation. And the process of rigorous investigation entails a lot of resources too.
Okay.
There are many newspaper houses, there are many media houses that employ. You need to ask the question, what is the salary that they pay to their workers? There are a lot of newspaper houses that don't even pay. Some are owing more than 1-2 years, they are owing workers. So where do you now situate the morale of a reporter? You are asking a reporter to go and do investigation from Lagos. You are sending him to Zaria or to Yedegoa. You cannot even fuel his car. You cannot even give him or anything. Then how do you now guarantee?
Now, talking about the reward, don't you think journalism should be born out of passion, not really about the reward attached to it?
I love that question.
Okay.
Definitely, every profession should be born out of passion. But, my sister, you cannot survive on passion. There are some things, there are some variables that will oil your movement in getting your bit done. So I believe that journalism is supposed to be allocated enough resources from those that are floating newspapers, setting up radio, television station. I believe journalism should be given enough biting energy for them to be able to do their bit. But in a situation whereby people are just struggling to survive, even if you have the passion, where can your passion take you to?
So you're trying to say, in essence, because of this poor reward towards journalism, that is why the Nigerian journalism sector is becoming like a field whereby people go to fend for themselves, not really because of the passion for journalism anymore.
It's not only even in journalism, because this argument could be extended into what we call national conversation.
Okay.
It is not really in journalism. You even find doctors living the shores of this country, pharmacists living in droves, or professionals living, because their pay cannot even take them home.
Okay.
So there's no way this thing will not affect journalism also. But basically, we still have to believe in the journalists that we have in Nigeria, that they are doing their bit, given the resources available. That does not mean that there's no room for improvement.
Okay.
Certainly there's room for improvement. I believe that ultimately, when the country gets better, every sector of the economy,
100 years to this time,
it may not take that. It only takes seriousness.
About the country.
It only takes seriousness and will on the part of leadership.
Okay.
I believe that one day we get it right, and that one day could even be shorter than we are even expecting.
Okay, all right. Do you believe that journalism should be born out of passion instead of reward?
I want to say everything is driven by passion. It is the passion that will bring the reward. I want to somewhat disagree.
Okay.
Media, journalism be the fourth realm of the state. It is not you look at those that are really in this. Thank God you started a newspaper. Tomorrow you might start an online this thing that will even be more burgeoning than the Nation newspaper and something like that. Though the resources, the reward, they are okay, but the thing is still born out of passion. I still want to say that virtually all these media houses, I don't know if it is short. I can't believe it is short of resources because they go to school to study that particular investigative journalism. So it should be born out of passion and not a reward. I'm very sure, as you are here now, you are being paid, no matter how small it is. So no media house will send a soldier to the battlefield without providing logistics.
Okay.
So I believe it should be passion.
Now, talking about the battlefield, don't you think the Nigerian army journalist sector, because we know the army is a department or a particular specific section of the nation that is broad, and they have everything ranging from their own doctors, journalists, and what have you. Don't you think the journalists in the Nigerian army should also play a part when it comes to disseminating the right information about the events in the Sambisa forest?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's where I said they are being insincere and dishonest.
The information unit.
The information unit, yeah. You know, that virtually all leaders, all good leaders, not great leaders, they love to hear what they wish to hear.
Okay.
They don't want to hear the other side. So, and all appointees, they are trying their possible best to give the boss what the boss need to hear. So that same thing is applicable to the information unit of the military. Instead of them to bring out, even if not all Nigerians, the president, people that should be in the know, let them know the real situation of things. But no, they won't, because they want their boss to believe that they are on top of the situation. So I want to say that the journalism unit of the military, they are not doing that fine under this present administration. And more so, there should be synergy between the media outfit of the military and the public. There should be a synergy. There should be agreement. Though there will be areas where they will disagree on reportage. But if there is synergy, you discover that even the public and media outfits, in relation with them, there will be a kind of a similar and balanced news reportage.
Okay, as a journalist, can you say for sure that the journalists in Nigeria, through the disinformation, through the dissemination of news, have been able to curb most of the insecurity issues in Nigeria?
Well, I will still keep on repeating that whatever successes that we might have recorded against Boko Haram, against other insurgents, against banditry, as it were, and against some other flashpoints of crisis in Nigeria, I believe the Nigerian media had contributed tremendously into letting us know what to do about all this. Because, number one, if anything happens and you don't know, how will you take action? How will you take precaution? And how will you be able to guide against the reoccurrence of such? This is where the media has come to play a very fundamental role in Nigeria, and which it still plays. But my grudge and grouse is with the security outfits, always pointing an accusing finger to the Nigerian media that they are the ones sabotaging the effort of the government. Until we are able to attack these things holistically, until all the stakeholders are able to sit down and map out a holistic strategy, these things may continue to linger on. But to single out the Nigerian media and begin to knock the head of Nigerian media is unacceptable to me.
Yeah, you were talking about corruption.
Yes.
As a media person, the government and the media, they are at fault. But me, I still blame the media most. Why?
Okay, we'll get to that later. When we get back, you get to blame the media. We'll have to go on a short break now. Well, we're going on a short break, and when we come back to the last segment of Burning Issues, you get to hear more from us here in the studio. Stay glued to your TV. Go nowhere. Welcome back to the last segment of Burning Issues, and we've been discussing the media coverage on insecurity crisis. On this segment, we'll be talking about whom the blame should be alluded to, either the government or the administration. Before we went on the break, you were talking about blaming the government or the media on the misinformation?
Thank you very much. 2 things or 4 things I want to say. Religious bigotry, ethnic chauvinism. They are things that our politicians are using to beguile our sense of reasoning. And also, it is said that propaganda and blackmail, they are 2 legitimate tools in politics.
Of course.
My grouse with the media is that they have been politicized.
Okay, let me get Oludice's view on this. Do you believe that the government is being insincere with information when it comes to issues concerning insecurity and security matters in Nigeria?
Definitely, the government, the authorities concerned in waging this war against Boko Haram and against all other insurgents in this country, the blame should go to them majorly.
Okay.
That does not foreclose the logic that other people too do not have to share in this blame.
Okay.
Just like he has said, that the media, it's only the only grounds I have with him is that you can't put much blame on the media. The media is just out there to report what is happening.
In his earlier statement, he made mention that the media is being politicized. Do you agree with this?
Well, let me put it this way. I would not want to answer that question directly. The media in Nigeria is a reflection of how the Nigerian state is presently. And every sector in the polity is a reflection of how.
You're talking about how the Nigerian state is. How is the Nigerian state?
The Nigerian state is in comatose. The Nigerian state is in the...
So the media cannot be different from the...
There's no way. There's no way you
But the media is the voice of the people.
The media is the voice of the people, but the media is not insulated from the general public. It's not insulated. If you're a media practitioner, you are working somewhere. I am a medical doctor or an academic, for instance. If I'm being paid by my employer and you are paid peanuts, we go to the same market. We operate in the same environment. We operate in the same ecosystem, so to say. So there's no way you can now take the media out of it and be apportioning blame on the media with the background belief or the background logic that the media is supposed to be the mouthpiece of the people, the media is supposed to be the conscience of the people, and as such, the media should be holier than thou. It's not done that way. The media is part of the society. In advanced country, in every clime of the world, the media is always a reflection of how society is.
Of course.
It is the level that the society gets to that you get the kind of media that you have. And it is the level that the society gets to also that you get the kind of leadership that you have. So there's no way you can say you want to blame the media for what is happening in Nigeria. I'm not saying the media does not have their own blame. I'm not saying it. Every segment of the Nigerian society have
their own blame.
But it should not be heaped on the media. Then he talked about the social media, that the social media is the way to go. I absolutely want to disagree with him. Let me say this. I know that the social media has come to represent what we call information superhighway now, with speed, with what you can call accuracy of picture.
Yeah, which is just globalization.
Yes, which is just part of globalization. But do you know that it is because of the social media that they want to sponsor a bill in the National Assembly now that social media space in Nigeria has to be regulated because of the prevalence of the issue of fake news. When you talk about fake news, you do not say the offline media are the culprit. 99% in most of the instances is hid.
That is why most of the opinion that the social media has been a vehicle that conveyed deceit.
They said the social media, the new media as it were, are the one conveying fake news. And everybody has reason to believe that. Because if you're an offline person, as a publisher of a newspaper, for instance, I write something
now,
that is not...
based on your view, can you say for sure that the social media have contributed to this sabotage according to Brutaya?
If they should lay their blame on any segment of the media, I believe that blame should go to social media. In the sense that...
So you're trying to say that Burata's blame should go to the social media, not
if
the
blame of the chief of army staff should go to the media at all, it should go much in the direction of social media. These are my reasons.
Okay.
Social media, we want to feast on the news afresh. As it is, there is no verification. There's no background check, so to say. They just see the picture, they feast on it, and pian.
But not all social media platforms.
It's not all. I'm not saying it's all. They post it immediately, and before you know it, the information becomes viral.
Okay.
Automatically, it becomes viral, and when it becomes viral, if you now later come to find out that the veracity of that information is faulty, you will be enraged that why are people believing this kind of story? And mind you, there are some offline media too, newspaper for that matter, that will rely on what they see on social media immediately to fill up their news space. So that is another second-hand information.
Okay,